Hello and welcome to Peanutopia. Today I want to show you the concept for the second scene, which connects the part where the peanut creatures appear with the desert part. And this scene is located at the peanut fields, but before I dive deeper into the design, let's take a quick look at the animatic. So, starting with the view of the Peanutopia island from above, the camera is approaching it until it finally falls down to hover over the peanut fields. Here we can see two agricultural aircrafts, one landing on the lake and one flying close by the camera. Then the peanut limousine appears on the road next to one of the field spirals, and while the car is driving, the camera is moving closer until it frames Mrs. P sitting behind the steering wheel. To get an overall impression on the field's landscape, I drew this concept. So here you can see the spiral-shaped hills on which the peanut plants grow. And to create an organic look, they all vary in size and proportions, and are also connected by some additional flat fields or small roads. Because fresh peanuts are always available in Peanutopia, the spirals exist in different growth cycles. While some plants have just been harvested or planted, others are in the middle of their growing period or bloom with the typical yellow flowers. In the middle of the whole scenery, there's a huge lake with clear water and a glowing shimmer emerging out of its center. And to support plant growth, this special water is collected by agricultural airplanes and used to sprinkle the plants. The dominating brown and green colors are complemented by a warm yellow touch and softened by a pastel sky, giving the scene a calm atmosphere. For the peanut plants, I made a geometry nodes setup that generates branches from a curve. So I can draw as many curves as I want to, and they immediately turn into new branches. Then I can adjust the position of the respective points to tweak the overall shape. And in addition to that, there are many parameters I can change in order to achieve different styles, like for example the gravity influence on the branches or the leaf density. To create this setup, I followed a tutorial for which you can find the link down in the description and customized it to my needs. So first of all, I used some custom shaders to create a more stylized plant. For the branches, I took a watercolor texture that I made some time ago for the desert scene and changed the colors. Then I thought about some outlines, but when the branches get very thin, I didn't like the look, so I generated some black parts inside the shader. To do this, I created a blend between the colored and the black parts based on this layer weight node, and by plugging it into the color ramp, I can now adjust the black amount. I also made my own leaf textures using again the desert watercolor texture tinted green as the base color. For the other textures, I made some drawings and added the black lines with a darkened color node on top of the base color. Then I also used the mask as my alpha input. And after that, I wanted to add the option to have flowers. So I created a peanut flower out of 4 planes, one for each petal. I also added a thin stem and assigned the branch shader to it. And finally, I added the flower as an instance into the geometry nodes setup and exposed the important parameters like the density or the flower size to be able to tweak them inside the modifiers tab. And in Peanutopia, I want the peanut bushes to look really imperious. That's why they are also far bigger than the ones we know. So I tried out a few things to generate a plant that I liked and ended up with this one. And I wanted to use it for some fun animations, so I added a plane to make a hill out of it and assigned a simple graphic shader to it. Now I just wanted to play around a little bit with the parameters, so I rendered these animations with some changing values. It really is so much fun to try out different things with this setup, so I'll definitely keep on experimenting. And there are still a few things missing for the fields. That's why next time I want to model one of the airplanes and also create a first block out, just to get a 3D impression of the whole scenery. So hope to see you there. Thanks and bye.